Broadcasting live from the Meridics OBS Studio Broadcast Center at Centennial Sportsplex. This is GNASH Hockey on the Middle Tennessee Sports Network as we are about to kick off our coverage of the 2025-2026 season with 1/3 of the reigning state champions taking on a new co-op. It's Independence-Centennial taking on Nolensville. If you missed it earlier today at noon, did a show for about half an hour talking about what had happened in the offseason, giving a few thoughts. It's out on all podcasting platforms. And now it's time to do the big business. As we've already got 3 games in the books. We got another one going on right now. We got this one coming up, and we got another one coming up out in Bellevue as we are winding down the first night of the regular season. Season started 2 weeks ago tonight with the senior games out in Bellevue. So that event is out of the way. As the Zamboni is just about wrapped up. All right, so we've got 3 finals to bring you. Father Ryan in the opening game of the season beat Brentwood BAUSN 5-2. Franklin beat Mount Juliet Wilson Central Lebanon 5-0. Ravenwood beat Hendersonville Beach Lawson 8-4. Going on Rink B right now, MBA beating the Outlaws 3-0 as they are approaching the end of the first period. And coming up at 8:15 on the Terry Crisp Rink in Bellevue, it is Station Camp Liberty. It's Rutherford Rampage taking on Station Camp Liberty Creek Nashville Christian School. Coming up here on Rink A in a few minutes, it'll be Indy Centennial taking on Nolensville. So here are the standings with those first 3 games in the books. Franklin, Ravenwood, Father Ryan all at 1-0. Franklin up on goal difference, +5 to +4 for Ravenwood to +3 for Father Ryan. And down at the bottom, you've got Brentwood BAUSN, Hendersonville Beach Lawson, and Mount Juliet Wilson Central Lebanon at 0-1. MBA and the Outlaws will register something before the end of the night. So will Rutherford and Station Camp, as well as Indy Centennial and Nolensville. Page Summit, JP2 MLK GCS, the GCS standing for Good Pasture Christian School. And Ensworth Lipscomb CPA will open the season on Wednesday night, and the Clarksville Kings will not kick off the season until October 1st. So they're going to be sitting on the sideline for just a little bit longer. All right, let's talk about the 2 teams playing our featured game tonight. First up, Indy Centennial. I said in the newsletter, and I said on our little show today, I never said this publicly, but I kind of figured that this co-op would happen. Plenty of positives for both. Centennial, of course, last year they were Centennial FRA. They said goodbye to 10 players. Let me pull up my Google Drive here. Said goodbye to 10 players in terms of graduation. A lot of familiar names. That played last season. Hold on, I'm almost there. Here we go. Centennial, FRA. Come on, Sheets. Come on, Sheets. There we go. So Centennial FRA last year said goodbye to Sean Advani, Clayton Hodgen, Brendan Mitchell, Ewan Douglas, Owen Boyer, John Caesar, Drew Stratton, Cabell Cunningham, Alex Ezeminia, and Blake Butcher. Sophia Soar didn't come back. She's not in the team. Avery Azaminia, Owen Brott, Tate Butcher, Aiden Gardner, who was last year So Centennial's team last year had no juniors. But I guess Aiden Gardner and Nick Kloss both took some advanced classes at some point because they're both seniors now. So they left a grade from sophomore to senior. Aiden Gardner is back, David Busby back, and Nick Kloss back, as well as Caleb Mills. Carson Denning, by the way, the only FRA player left over from last year, he has been grandfathered onto this year's roster. So he is still playing with Centennial. Now the Indy players who said goodbye last year. Trent Pavlik, catcher Grayson, Jackson McCoy, Jonas Martorell, Landrick Majewski, and Finn Cowberg. Coming over to this new team, Dowden Friedrich. No, correction. He's a PA kid. He's over with Brentwood. Oscar Dubon, Bryson Patton, Oliver Weedman, George Logazar. I don't see Jake McGlynn. He's not on this team. One player who didn't play for Indy last year but played for them the season before, Wilson Heap. He's back on the team. A lot of new names. A lot of Indy freshmen. Not very many new Centennial players. Only 2 new Centennial players. And their backup goalie is Clive Neal, who is from the Outlaws. I'm not sure what school he's from. Quite a few teams have had to take a pool goalie. Mark Lane is the head coach. Connor McKenzie was supposed to be the head coach, but he decided a few weeks ago to step down, spend more time with his newborn baby. So Mark Lane is the head coach of Indy Centennial. First time he's been coach of the Centennial program in well over a decade. First time he's coaching Indy. Now Nolensville. Of course, the Ensworth-Nolensville Lipscomb team last year had no seniors on it. So all of these kids, so nearly all the Nolensville players from last year's team, except for Weston Herringer, are on this new scholastic team. And they've got a whole bunch of new kids. They have 3 8th graders, some freshmen, 1 sophomore who's new to, actually 2 sophomores who are new to the team. So this is a young Nolensville team. Outside of having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seniors. And they, too, have a backup goalie from the pool, Isaac Wank, who is a freshman at Nashville Christian School. So he is on Station Camp Liberty Creek Nashville Christian School's team, and he is the backup for Nolensville this season. Bingston Soundara is back. Let me just bring out the returnees. Henry Cravens, Jackson Malleus-Mayer, Heath Hudi, Joseph Simonetti, Emmett Zakos, Bingston Soundara, Charlie Bonnert, Spencer Kern, who, of course, scored the OT winner in the Preds Cup final, and Logan Campbell. And the newcomers are Isaac Wank, Hank Prosser, Judah Campbell, Annie Cravens, who is one of the 8th graders. She's Henry's younger sister, Luke Doble, Thomas Renegar, Carson Roganchik, Grant Phelps, Ben Campbell, and CJ Calvaca. The head coach for this Nolensville team is Ty Johns. He is one of 2 brand new head coaches, the other being J.R. Dunn, the new Rutherford Rampage coach who takes over from Mike Jones. Ready to go with this one in our first game of the season. Bingston-Soundara, no surprise, going to start in goal. Well, we're not ready to go yet because we don't have our officials. Bingston-Soundara going to start in goal for Nolensville. David Busby going to start in goal for Indy-Centennial. And both teams have sweaters with player names on the back. That is terrific. That is great news. Well, I'm going to step down while the officials. We do not have a single official out here. Not a one. And we're ready to start the game. I'm sure that they were doing the two previous games here on Rink A. Father Ryan Brentwood BAUSN, and the game that wrapped up a few moments ago, Franklin against Mount Juliet Wilson Central Lebanon. Ben Campbell has his left arm in a sling, so he's not going to be playing in this one. Kevin Bond, the GNASH commissioner, is here. I wonder if he's set off to find the officials. All right, here comes one of the referees. Now we're waiting on three more guys. Oh, okay, there are both the referees, and here come the linesmen. Okay, here come the officials. Here come the officials. Now, Bingston-Soundara going to start in goal for Nolensville. David Busby going to start in goal for Indy-Centennial for this first period. Nolensville will carry the puck from my left to right, and Indy-Centennial from my right to left. And it's just past 8 o'clock, and the concession stand is still open. Last year it was closing at like 7:30. And hold on. Malleus-Mayer have a Malleus-Mayer having to step off the ice, so I guess he's got an equipment issue. So Heath Hudie is going to go in his place. And the game is underway. Indy-Centennial with a puck off the draw. Puck sliding into the Nolensville zone, immediately cleared out. Passed ahead to Spencer Kern at center. Kern, left wing side of the Indy zone. Trying to cut to the middle of the ice. Puck in front. Oh, and whiffing on it from right in front was Heath Hudie. I think Emmett Zakos had a shot in front that went off the left leg pad of Busby. So Nolensville with an early chance with their big guns. Puck now in the Nolensville zone. Tate Butcher left point, a shot steered away by Bingston-Soundara. And now here is Kern carrying it to center. Spencer Kern passing it off Charlie Bonner, left wing side of the Indy-Centennial zone, trying to go to the slot. Puck taken away and cleared. Picked up at center by Thomas Renegar, one of the new players in this Nolensville team. Bonner trying to dump it into the Indy zone. He does. Indy making some changes as well. And the puck was just cleared out of the Indy zone by Oscar Dubon and touched up and brought in offside by Hank Prosser. And that amount of play took the first 63 seconds off the clock before the first whistle. It's now 5-0 NBA over the Outlaws over on Rink B. Of course, those two met in a Preds Cup Losers Bracket quarterfinal back in February, and NBA won 6-1. Jackson Malleus-Mayer, left wing side of the Indy zone, backhands it down the wall. And Indy come up with a puck, and they'll bring it out to center. Bryson Patton, nice back checking by Annie Craven. She pokes it away from him. Renegar picks it up inside the Nolensville zone, tries to send it around the wall to the far side. Put out in front, Logan Campbell intercepts, and he brings it to center. Campbell, left wing side of the Indy zone, taking a shot. Stopped and held on to by Busby. Against his chest, he stuck the glove up to keep it in, or to keep it there. 12-11 to go in the first, no goals on the board. Of course, that NBA Outlaws game that I mentioned that took place back in February, featuring an unusual ejection when Abe Lasher was kicked out of the game, having scored a goal because he wasn't listed on the score sheet. He had gotten a waiver to play in the playoffs because he only played in one regular season game, and they forgot to enter his name on the score sheets. Emmett Zakos keeping the puck alive at the right point. Shot was blocked. He gets it back, carries it to the slot, and a shot that went off an Indy stick floats right in to the glove of Busby. So Nolensville taking it to Indy early. Draw one by the Knights. Shot from Emmett Zakos was blocked and slides through center back into the Nolensville zone. Sent into the Knights' end by Joshua Boren, one of the many Indy freshmen on this team. Nolensville trying to clear, just kept alive at the left point by Tate Butcher, but his hard pass hit Caleb Mills, and now the puck is out at center. And jab back into the Indy zone by Carson Roganchik. Indy get it out. Sent right back in by Nolensville, cleared out again by the Eagles. Indy making a change. Charlie Bonner brings the puck back into the Indy zone. Got around Tate Butcher, but the puck got away from him. It came on goal. And David, actually, nope, they're saying he got off a shot. Looked like the puck got away from him. I guess he got it off from in tight. Busby stops and covers. 11:05 to go in the first. Still no goals on the board in this one. Draws to the left of Busby. Won by Indy. And here's a chance in front for Indy. Shot, score! Aiden Gardner made his way through a couple of defenders, got right in on goal, and puts it in through the 5-hole of Soundara. And Indy-Centennial go up 1-0 with 10:56 to go in the first. Draw one by Nolensville. Spencer Kern backing up into his own zone. Passes to the far side, and that pass attempt was intercepted by Gardner. That was from Charlie Bonner. Then Bonner takes the puck back from Gardner. High slot, a shot in the Indy zone, stopped and held on to by Busby. So Nolensville turn the puck over, but then immediately take it back, and Charlie Bonner gives his team a chance. Draw's going to be to the right of Busby. Draw one by Nolensville. Kern comes around to the near side. Drops it down into the right wing corner. Pass to the slot off the stick of Malleus-Mayer. It's kept alive by Bonnert, Charlie Bonnert, but then he has it taken away and cleared out by Indy. Kern back in his own zone. Passing it ahead to Charlie Bonnert. Bonnert passing it back over to Malleus-Mayer. Malleus-Mayer that poked off his stick right as he crossed the Indy blue line. And a pass to Bryson Patton was knocked away from him. Charlie Bonnert was on top of him. Henry Cravens with the puck now for the Knights. Malleus-Mayer through center. Back into the Indy zone on the right wing side. He's defended well, forced to go into the right wing corner. Now here's Kern going around the back of the net. Passing it up to the left point. Nemeth-Zakos chipping it back down the wall. But it's intercepted. And brought out of the zone by Indy, but then turned right back over. Malleus-Mayer putting a body on him was Nick Kloss. Nick Kloss put a body on him and kept him from going down the slot. And we end up having a whistle. I think someone had their net guard come off. Whistle is blown for safety. 9:16 to go. Actually, no, I guess they're calling offside against Indy, or I'm sorry, something against Nolensville, because they're dropping the puck on the dot in front of the bleachers across from the Indy bench. 1-0 Indy-Centennial with 9:16 to go in the first. Draw one by Nolensville. Annie Cravens dumping it into the Indy zone. Puck put out in front by Hank Prosser, but intercepted. And now back the other way come Indy. And up, Caleb Mills had the puck get away from him right as he got to the Nolensville blue line. And he crossed over before the puck, so offside called against the Eagles. Drawing the dot across from the Nolensville bench at center. In front of the bleachers. Side of the red line nearest to where I'm standing. Draw one by Nolensville, Annie Cravens. Passing it up the near side, but intercepted by Caleb Mills. She didn't pass it hard enough. Puck back in the Nolensville zone on the near side. Mills knocks down Annie Cravens. Heath Hudie picks up the loose puck and carries it to center. Hudie back into the Indy zone on the left wing side. The puck poked off his stick. Oscar Dubon trying to clear. Had the puck taken away at center. Thomas Renegar passing it back to Logan Campbell. Campbell, left wing side of the Indy zone, passing it up to the left point. Nemeth-Zakos taking a shot. I think it may have been blocked. I don't think it ever got to Busby. Puck out at center. Now brought back in by Nolensville. Out on the far side, it's cleared. And Aiden Gardner, and it poked away right at the Nolensville blue line. Charlie Bonnert trying to pass it, Carson Roganchik trying to pass it across to Judah Campbell, but it was poked away. And now Campbell, after a poke check at center, dumps the puck back into the Indy zone. Poke check by one of his teammates to steal the puck from Indy. Here's Henry Cravens moving to the right wing, a shot, score! Henry Cravens moving into the top of the right circle at a bit of a screen, takes a shot that goes into the top right-hand corner of the net. And that's the first goal of the season for Nolensville, and they have tied the game at 1 with 7:23 to go in the first period. Indy won the draw, and a shot on goal from center had to be turned away by Soundara. Now Spencer Kern back in the Indy zone, moving along the blue line, taking a shot. It's blocked. Puck bouncing near the net. Indy trying to bring it out. They do. Puck sliding through center back into the Nolensville zone. Picked up by Henry Cravens, poked off his stick. He has it back, sends it up the far side out to center. Intercepted and brought back in by Nick Kloss. Kloss going down the slot, and the puck got away from him. He had one hand on his stick. Cravens defended him well, and the puck slid past the net to the left of Soundara. Puck cleared out by Nolensville. It's back in the Indy zone, immediately cleared out by Aiden Gardner. Oh, and then it's given away at center to Jackson Malleus-Mayer, who then hands it off to Spencer Kern, but he went back in the zone. I think it was Oliver Weedman who gave the puck away. Puck carried back into the Indy zone, taken away by the Eagles. Aiden Gardner right on the right wing boards inside the Nolensville zone. Shakes off his defenders, pass to the slot. Bryson Patton tried to get off a soft backhander that hit the skates of Annie Cravens. Puck comes out to the blue line, a one-timer turned away by Soundara. Taking that shot was Gardner. Puck put out in front. Oh, and Lucas Brown couldn't get a stick on it. Now back the other way comes Spencer Kern. Puck carried back into the Indy zone, stolen away. And they clear it. It's back on the Nolensville end on the left wing side. Here's Lucas Brown going to the front of the net. A shot stopped by Soundara off his right leg pad. Brown comes out again, a shot off Soundara's right shoulder. Nolensville tried to clear, held in Dubon at the left point. Dubon with a shot. Misses the net to the left of Soundara. Nope, they're saying he got a piece of it. They put the shot up on the board. Puck sent back down deep into the Indy zone, put out in front. Oh, but it hops over the stick of Joseph Simonetti. David Busby dropped his stick. And as soon as the puck exits the zone, he goes and gets it. Puck back on the Nolensville end. Shot from out high, turned away by Soundara. That was from Caleb Mills. Simonetti jabbing the puck ahead into the Indy zone. Up, they say he got brought down. They say he got tripped. And sitting in the box, I think it's George Logazar. Yes, it is George Logazar, one of the Indy seniors on this team. So Nolensville getting their first power play of the season. Game is tied at 1, 4:39 to go in the first. Draw is going to be to David Busby's right. Indy won the draw and cleared out of the zone, but Henry Craven slowed it down with his stick of the left point just enough where he could catch up to it at center. Here's Heath Hudi, left wing side of the Indy zone, passing up to the left point. And Cravens gets it right back to Hudi. Hudi sends it to the inboards. Charlie Bonnert dropping it behind the net. Try to get it to Spencer Kern. Indy coming up with it, trying to clear, knocked down by Bonnert. Passes across to Hudi on the left wing side. Henry Craven's left point. Across to Jackson Malleus-Mayer, top of the right circle. Passes down the right wing to Kern. Kern takes a shot. I think Busby got a piece of it, or it was blocked, one of the two. Puck sent up to Cravens at the right point. Passes over Hudi, right at the left wing boards. Takes a shot, stopped. Rebound stopped by Busby. That rebound try came from Jackson Malleus-Mayer. Exactly 1 minute left in the power play, game tied at 1. Draw one by Nolensville. Was to the right of Busby, and a shot was slowed up by an Indy stick. Came on goal. Busby has to stop, dive out, and cover. That was from Jackson Malleus-Mayer. His shot was deflected by an Indy stick. Sort of changed direction, but not enough for Busby to have to panic. Draw's going to be to his left. One by Nolensville. Malleus-Mayer pass cross off the stick of Heath Hudi. Hudi. Dropping it behind the net. Now Oscar Dubon with the puck. 30 seconds left in the power play for the Knights. Dubon trying to clear, held into the blue line, right atop the blue line by Henry Cravens. Malleus-Mayer trying to move in. Puts it out in front. Oh, and Busby was out of position, but nobody in a white sweater could shoot it into the wide open net. Here's Bryson Patton back into the Nolensville zone, but offside. I think Lucas Brown went over the blue line before Patton brought the puck in. 14 seconds to go on the power play. 2:53 to go in the first. The game is tied at 1. Draw is going to be on the dot across from the Nolensville bench at center. It's won by Indy. Here is Aiden Gardner into the slot. A shot off the stick of Andy Cravens. Goes past the net to the right of Sandara. Puck out in front. And a shot from Spencer Pacholko. Stopped and covered up by Soundara. Spencer Pacholko, one of the new Indy players in this team. He's a sophomore. Draws to the right of Soundara. One by Indy. Is up there back at even strength. Nick Kloss, top of the left circle. Sending it to the net, off the stick of Emmett Zakos, and over the net it goes. Luke Doble, backhanding it ahead to Judah Campbell. Across to Roganchik. Puck back in the Indy zone. Chased down by Oliver Weedman. Correction, Tate Butcher. Now it's back in the Nolensville zone. Aiden Gardner cannot get around Andy Cravens. Andy Cravens has been playing really good D. Gardner knocks down Logan Campbell, and he can't get by Andy Cravens. She takes the puck off of him. Puck back in the Indy zone. Oh, and Spencer Pacholko had it get away from him. Nick Kloss backhanded it into the Nolensville zone, but it was cleared out by Grant Phelps. And offside against Nolensville at the other end. Grant Phelps went into the zone ahead of Roganchik, who had the puck. 1:40 to go in the first game, tied at 1. It's now 6-1 NBA over the Outlaws over on Rink B. Need to pull up the Rampage Station Camp score out in Bellevue. Puck in the Indy zone. Here's Spencer Kern. Trying to backhand it around the kick plate. Comes around to the near side. And it's going to be picked up and cleared out by Joshua Boren, but then the other way by Nolensville. I think it was Henry Cravens. Final minute of the first. Here's Oscar Dubon. Left wing side of the Nolensville zone. Has to curve around to get away from Thomas Renegar, and puck taken away from Tyler Nicholson right at the blue line. Here's Spencer Kern leaving in on the left wing side of the Indy zone for Jackson Malleus-Mayer. Malleus-Mayer in the left wing corner. Passing it out towards the blue line. Held it by Renegar, but he gives it away. Try to give it back to Malleus-Mayer. It's intercepted by Indy. 30 seconds left in the first. Caleb Mills getting knocked down in the right wing corner of the Nolensville zone. Here's Henry Cravens through center. Passing it to the left wing, Malleus-Mayer in the Indy zone. A shot missed the net, and it went out of play. I guess it deflected off an Indy stick and into the netting above the glass. 17.9 seconds to go in the first. The game is tied at 1. Oh, wow, Rutherford leading Station Camp 2-1 out in Bellevue. It's kind of a surprise. Draw was to the right of Busby. Won by Nolensville, and a shot off the draw to be turned away. Just past the Nolensville net to the right of Soundara for an icing. Draw is to the right of Busby. Won by Nolensville. Tried to back in it in front. It's intercepted. Indy clearing it away from the net, and that's going to be it for the first. Aiden Gardner scored the first goal of the game just over 3 minutes in. Just before the halfway point of the first, Henry Cravens tied things up, and so Nolensville and Independence-Centennial are tied at 1 at the end of 1. Ready to start the second period of this one. Busby still in goal for Indy-Centennial. Bingston Soundara still in goal for Nolensville for this second period. Indy will carry the puck from my left to right, and Nolensville from my right to left. Nolensville will win the draw to start the second. Here's Spencer Kern up, had the puck poked off his stick right as he was trying to go down the Indy slot. And George Logazar tried to put it in the slot for Bryson Patton. It was too far ahead of him, and now back the other way come Nolensville. Here is Spencer Kern, left wing side of the Indy zone, behind the net. Puck in the right wing corner. Nick Kloss pinning him against the board. Spencer Pacholko is there as well. And they finally blow the whistle because puck wasn't coming loose, and that took the first 35 seconds off the clock in this second period. 13:25 to go, 1-1. Draw's going to be to Busby's left. Draw one by Nolensville. And Jackson Malleus-Mayer tried to pass it over to Charlie Bonnet, and an Indy player crossed right in front of him. And offside warning against Indy at the other end after they stole the puck on that miscue and brought it back into the Nolensville end and cleared out to center, but intercepted by Pacholko, and then he brings it in offside as Bryson Patton had not cleared the zone. Draws on the dot across from the Indy-Centennial bench at center. Won by Nolensville. Oh, and they nearly went offside. Logan Campbell went into the zone as Hank Prosser held the puck. They avoided the offside. Puck back in the Indy zone. Oscar Dubon trying to pass it ahead off the stick of Prosser. Heath Udy kicks it into the Indy zone, but it's cleared out by Easton Romano, another one of the new Indy players. Indy freshman. Puck back in the Nolensville end, but the Knights come up with it and get it out. Taken back and brought right back in by Eden Gardner. Got some room. A shot missed the net to the right of Soundara. Taking a shot from the left circle near the right-hand side of the net. Puck put in front for Avery Azaminia from the right point by Easton Romano, but she whiffed on it. Now Romano from out high. His shot blocked. And now it's brought out to center. Heath Udy, right wing side of the Indy zone. Puck poked away from him from behind. Puck out on the far boards. Here's Annie Cravens putting it out in front, but nobody was there. By Charlie Bonner at the left point. Taking a shot in the left circle off the left arm, left bicep of David Busby. Puck held in. Emmett Zakos up. Carson Roganchik gets knocked down, and there's going to be a penalty against Indy. And an interference call. And the penalty is going to be against Aiden Gardner, who has the lone Indy goal. So Nolensville back to the power play. Game tied at 1, 11:38 to go in the second. Draw one by the Knights. Henry Cravens right point. Backhanding it over to Malleus-Mayer. Now back up to the center point. Cravens a one-timer. Stopped and held on to by Busby. Draw to the left to Busby again. One by Nolensville. Shot in the right point. Blocked by an Indy stick in front. Clearing attempt held in by Logan Campbell. Passed over to the right wing, and Jackson Malleus-Mayer shot from just inside the top of the right circle, turned away by Busby. Henry Cravens at center, passing it back to Malleus-Mayer. Malleus-Mayer brings it back into the Indy zone on the left wing side. Goes to the end boards. Now he's back out on the left wing, passing up to the left point. Logan Campbell back down towards the left wing corner. Charlie Bonner sends it across to the far side. Malleus-Mayer keeps it alive. Spencer Kern in the right wing corner. Pushed into the boards by Nick Kloss. Kloss trying to clear it out. Puck comes in front to Tate Butcher. And he's going to carry it to center. A minute left in the power play for Nolensville. Shot from Butcher at center, steered away by Soundara. Puck out on the far side. Spencer Kern with it for the Knights. Is he going to try and bring it out of the zone? Takes a bump. And he did not manage to get it out. Caleb Mills came in and kicked the puck off of him. I'm not sure who that was that gave him a bump that slowed him down and allowed Mills to do that. 30 seconds left in the power play as Nolens will bring it back into the Indy zone. Poked off the stick of Malleus-Mayer. Comes back to Malleus-Mayer. Passes across right circle. A shot. Oh, hit the crossbar from Cravens. Now Kern. Bottom of the left circle. Goes around the back of the net. Now comes out to the far side. Dumps it down low behind the net. Charlie Bonnert. Penalty time against Indy-Centennial is up. They're back at even strength. Here's Bonnert. Moving along the goal line, taking a shot. Stopped and covered up by Busby at the right-hand side of his net. Stopped it with his chest and then dove out to cover. 9:35 to go in the second, still 1-1. (7-1) NBA over the Outlaws over on Rink B. That one should be getting close to being done. It started it just over an hour ago. Okay, they're early in the third. Draws to the right of Busby. Nolensville with it. Here's Carson Roganchik putting it out in front. Oh, but it hopped over the stick of Judah Campbell as he was standing near the right-hand side of the net, and Indy are going to end up icing the puck. Nolensville with a great chance to go up 2-1, but the puck hopped right over the stick blade of Judah Campbell. Draw is going to be to the right of Busby. Won by Indy. Banked off the near side boards and out to center. George Logazar brings it into the Nolensville zone, but he's pushed off the puck. Has it cleared away by Thomas Renegar. Kept alive by Lucas Brown. Oh, but he gives it away to Renegar. Renegar at the inboards. Trying to pass it up the far side. And it's cleared out. I think by Luke Doble. It's in the Indy zone. Oh, and Easton Romano didn't go straight to the puck. Judah Campbell came in from behind and backhanded it around the kick plate. Now it's out at center. And on the stick of Bryson Patton, who backhands it back into the Nolensville zone. Him at Zakos trying to clear it out. Puck comes back to him, and he'll bring it into the Indy zone on the right wing side. Pushed into the boards by Lucas Brown. Puck in the right wing corner. Zakos passing it out to above the top of the left circle. Renegar shot off the right leg pad of Busby. Now Logan Campbell behind the net. Backhanding it to the inboards. Heath Hudi now in the right wing corner. And the puck taken away and cleared by Indy. And icing called. It rolled in its edge quite slowly. No, wait, we have a penalty. It's a cross-checking call against Nolensville. Never mind. Okay, it was an icing, but no, it's Judah Campbell who's being called for the cross-check. So Indy-Centennial getting their first power play of the season. Game tied at 1. 7:53 to go in the second. Draw is to the right of Bingston Soundara. Nolensville out shooting Indy right now 15-11. Draw one by Indy. Tate Butcher left point, passing it down the wall. Fires it across the front of the net from the left half wall. Nick Kloss. Back over to Butcher. Now the right circle. Gardner, a shot. Steered over the net by Soundara. Here's Spencer Curd now back into the Indy zone. Oh, but the puck was hopping on him. He left it behind, and he went into the Indy zone ahead of it. Touches up for offside. So a big break there for Indy because Kern wasn't able to get a hold of that puck. 90 seconds left in the power play. 7:23 to go in the second. Game tied at 1. Draw 1 by Indy. Puck in the Indy zone. Annie Cravens tracks it down. She tries to clear it out up the far side, and Spencer Kern gives it a little whack to get it out of there. And now he'll dump it into the Indy zone. They're going to call him to the bench. Heath Hudie will take his place in the ice. Here's Nick Kloss. Back into the Nolensville zone on the left wing side. Has to go around the back of the net. Oh, he leaves the puck in front. Score! Spencer Pacholko! Spencer Pacholko scoring his first GNASH goal. Puck was put right in front by Kloss from behind the net. And Pacholko able to knock it in from in front. It's 2-1 Indy with 6:55 to go in the second. Nolensville win the draw, bring it into the Indy zone. It's taken away and cleared out by George Logazar. Dump back in by Nolensville. Here is Prosser, bottom of the right circle. Passing up to the right point. And Thomas Renegar tried to go back to him at Zakos, but Zakos was moving down the left wing. The puck went out to center. And George Logazar caught up to it, got in tight on the Nolensville zone, or got in tight on the Nolensville net and got off a shot that he forced Soundara to save. .6:23 to go in the second, 2-1 Indy. Draw is to the left of Soundara. Nolensville win the draw, get it out of the zone. Mono at center, dropping it back towards the Nolensville end. Now it's in that zone. Bryson Patton, left circle, shot, gloved and held on to by Soundara. Draws to the right of Soundara. Won by Nolensville, Henry Cravens. Banks it off the near glass and out. It's in the Indy zone, and Spencer Kern catches up to but they're going to call him. He was in a foot race with Tate Butcher, and he knocked Butcher over, and they're going to call Kern for interference. So Indy Centennial go back in the power play up 2-1 with 5:57 to go in the second. Draw is going to be to the left of Soundara. Nolensville won the draw, but it's held in by Indy. Nick Kloss down the left wing. Behind the net. Comes back out. Oh, passes across to the left-hand side of the net, and Aiden Gardner was there, but he sent it wide. Nick Kloss at the right point. Taking a shot, stopped and held onto by Soundara. Draw to the left of Soundara, won by Indy. Passed out top of the right circle, Oot went underneath the stick blade of Nick Kloss. He manages to keep it near him. Moving towards the middle, getting off a shot. Went off a stick, I think, and across the front of the net. Held in at the left point by Tate Butcher. Puck poked away. And that was Roganchik who was unable to find it. Puck put in front. Stopped and covered up by Soundara with Easton Romano on top. No, correction, it was Caleb Mills on top of him. 61 seconds to go on the power play. 4:58 to go in the second. Still 2-1 Centennial. Sorry, Indy Centennial. Got to get used to that. Draws to the right of Soundara. They won it. Nolensville won it. Tried to clear it out. It was held in the left point. Indy keeping it alive. It was kept alive at the left point by Oscar Dubon. Now it's over on the near side. Nolensville clear it out. Well under a minute left in the power play for the Eagles. Here's Nick Kloss. Kloss out to center. Into the Nolensville zone. Moving to the left wing. Backing up towards the boards. 30 seconds left in the power play for Indy. There's Oscar Dubon, top of the right circle. Shot blocked. Puck comes right back to him. Passes over to the left circle. Shot from Nick Kloss. Gloved and held on to by Soundara. 21 seconds to go in the power play. 4:18 to go in the second. Still 2-1 Indy. Carson Roganchik back in the Nolensville bench holding his right arm. Nolensville team only has 19 players on the roster. Ben Campbell already out with a shoulder injury. They don't need to be shorthanded anymore. Draw one by Indy, but turned right over to Nolensville. And the puck is in the Indy zone, and Charlie Bonner catches up to it, and he backhands it into the wide open net. David Busby came out to try and get the puck to sweep it out, but Bonner caught up to it, skated past him, and backhands it into the, actually he didn't backhand it that hard. It kind of whiffed on it, topped it, and it still went in. And it is a shorthanded goal for Nolensville to tie the game. 2-2 with 4:09 to go in the second. And 11 seconds left on the Indy power play. NBA beat the Outlaws 9-1. I think you can chalk that more to the Outlaws being down. Here's Jackson Malleus-Mayer into the Indy zone. In front of backhander, stopped by Busby at the left-hand side of the net. Bonnert keeps the puck alive. He comes in front of backhander, stopped off the blocker pad of Busby. Oh, and Kern couldn't get the puck in the left circle. Here's Aiden Gardner back into the Nolensville zone. Gardner with a backhander. Turned away by Soundara. Either he turned it away or it went across the front of the net. And the puck cleared out by Nolensville. Here's Spencer Kern at center, back into the Indy zone. Kern with a shot, top of the left circle, stopped by Busby. Malleus-Mayer picks up the rebound, drops it back. But Charlie Bonner had already gone to the front of the net and watched it go by. Here's Nick Kloss. Back into the Nolensville zone on the right wing side. Goes to the inboards. Around the back of the net. Takes a shot from the far board, stopped by Nolensville. By Soundara, I should say. And Nolensville tried to clear the puck out, but it went into the netting above the glass. 2:33 to go in the second. Game tied at 2. It's 4-3 Station Camp over Rutherford down in Bellevue. Puck out at center. Sent back into the Nolensville zone. Thomas Renegar is going to chase it down. And Nolensville will end up icing it. Draw was to the right about Soundara. Here's a shot from the right point. Butcher, I think it was blocked. I don't think it ever got to Soundara. Here's Caleb Mills behind the net trying to put it out in front. And here's Heath Udy at center with it for Nolensville. Into the Indy zone, a shot. David Busby stands up, stops it with his right shoulder, and hangs on for the whistle. Minute 49 to go in the second. Game tied at 2. Draw one by Indy. Here is Tate Butcher sending it around the wall to the far side. Luke Doble up, try to push it to the slot, but he didn't get a lot of wood on it. It ends up being taken the other way by Indy. Here's Tate Butcher, left wing side of the Nolensville zone, drops it back. Bryson Patton sends it back to the inboards for Butcher. Puck behind the net. Puck ends up back in the Indy zone, and Nick Kloss is going to ice it. 61 seconds to go in the second. Game tied at 2. Draws to the right of Busby. One by Nolensville. 1 minute left in the second. Henry Craven's a shot. Knocked down in front. Oh, but Spencer Kern was spinning around in front of the net. Couldn't get the shot away. Was knocked down in front, not by Busby, but by somebody else. And now put out in front. Malleus-Mayer shot. Stopped point blank and covered by Busby. It was Charlie Bonnert with a centering pass. Busby with a great save. Draws to the left of Busby. One by Nolensville, and a shot from the left point stopped and held on to by Busby. That was from Emmett Zakos. Draw be to Busby's left again. Spencer Kern getting off. Spencer Kern and Bryson Patton getting off the. No, Bryson Patton getting kicked off the faceoff dot. Draw one by Nolensville. Here's Henry Cravens, top of the left circle. A shot stopped his chest. Draw will be to Busby's right this time. One by Nolensville, but taken away by Nick Kloss. Under 30 seconds left in the period. Kloss trying to pass it up the far side, and a clearing attempt intercepted. Spencer Kern, a shot off the stick of Oscar Dubon and over the net from the slot. Here's Kloss, back to center. Into the Nolensville zone, left wing side. Backhands it across to the right circle, sent back across to Oliver Weedman. Taken away by Nolensville, brought out to center. That's going to be it for the second. Just past the halfway point of the second. Spencer Pachalko scoring his first ever GNASH goal on the power play, but then just over a couple minutes later, with Indy on another power play, Charlie Bonnert scoring shorthanded, and Indy Centennial and Nolensville are tied at 2 at the end of 2. Ready to start the third and final period of this one. Bingston Soundara still in goal for Nolensville. David Busby still in goal for Indy-Centennial for this third and final period. Nolensville will carry the puck from my left to right. Indy-Centennial from my right to left. Draw one by Nolensville to start the third. Henry Cravens dumps it into the Indy zone. It's behind the net. And Indy end up clearing it out. Sliding into the Nolensville zone. Henry Cravens catches up to it before icing can be called, but it was about to come to a dead stop anyway. Now here's Aiden Gardner back in the Nolensville zone. In front of backhander. Missed the net. And Soundara backs into the net and knocks it loose. Gardner in front with a backhander that missed the net, and Soundara made contact with a goal frame and knocked it loose. Heath Hudi got tripped up behind the net, and he is gingerly skating back to the Nolensville bench. So that's now two players that they've had get hurt in this game. Carson Roganchik and now Heath Hudi. And like I said, they've already got Ben Campbell out with a shoulder injury. Here's Spencer Kern in the Indy zone. A shot just missed the net to the left of David Busby. Now Kern passing it out to the slot. Here's Henry Cravens trying to go to the front of the net. Couldn't get the shot away. Actually got off some shot, and it went off of something and up into the air. I couldn't tell what it was. I had something blocking my view on that. Puck back at center. Charlie Bonnert dumps it back into the Indy zone. Here is Nick Kloss. Kloss to center. Now into the Nolensville zone on the right wing side. Gets up a shot off the stick of Henry Cravens. Back over on the near side. Spencer Pacholko tries to wrap around, stopped and covered up by Soundara at his left-hand side of the net, right his left-hand post. 12:27 to go in the game. It is 2-2, still 2-2. Draws to Soundara's left, won by Indy. There's Oscar Dube on top of the left circle. A shot gloved and held on to by Soundara. Draws to Soundara's right. Won by Indy, but Easton Romano had trouble trying to keep it alive. And he gave it away to Emmett Zakos, who cleared the zone. Puck back in the Indy end. Eagles will bring it out. Lucas Brown back into the Nolensville zone. Shot on the right wing boards. It's gloved and held onto by Soundara. Draws to Soundara's left. Won by Indy, and a one-timer from Easton Romano at the right point. Stopped and held on to by Soundara. Draw one by Nolensville, but Judah Campbell out at center. Oh, but he couldn't get the puck past Oscar Dubon. Put it right into his skates. Here's Dubon. Back into the Nolensville zone on the left wing side. Defended well. Moves out towards the blue line, and the puck is taken away, but Luke Doble couldn't clear it out. Now he clears it out on the second try. And offside, go Nolensville into the Indy zone. Judah Campbell went over the blue line and then touched the puck up when it came in. 11:31 to go in the game, still 2-2. Draws on the dot in front of the Indy-Centennial bench. Won by Nolensville. Henry Cravens dumps the puck into the Indy zone. Here's Spencer Kern on the right wing corner. Trying to drop it down. Nolensville still with the puck. Jackson Malleus-Mayer backhanding it down deep from the top of the right circle. Puck put in front. Nobody in a white sweater there. Here's Henry Cravens, bottom of the left circle, trying to go to the front of the net. Puck poked off. Puck poked off his stick. Now Cravens trying to go to the slot. Had the puck jabbed away again. Puck out at center. Nick Kloss steering it back into the Nolensville zone, but Henry Cravens beats him to it. Tries to clear it out, held in by Caleb Mills. Mills trying to pass the slot, and there's a shot. Oh, missed the net. Oscar Dubon backing up into the right circle, missed the net. Charlie Bonner trying to clear, held in Nick Kloss, moving down the left wing. Carries it to the right-hand side of the net. Stopped by Soundara. Puck loose in front. They try and clear it out. Dubon holds it in. Keeps it alive and gets off a shot that's stopped by Soundara, who was stretching across from left-hand post to right-hand post. And it went off his glove, laying on his right-hand side. Spencer Kern clears the puck out from the far side. Here is Aiden Gardner now, right wing side of the Nolensville zone. His shot off a stick into the netting above the glass. 9:28 to go, still 2-2. Draw to the left of Soundara. Won by Indy, and a shot blocked. And then the puck slides towards the net, and Bryson Patton gets off a shot that's stopped and covered up by Soundara. Drawby to his left again. Owens will win the draw, try and get it out. Held into the right point by Indy. Here's Emmett Zakos banging the puck off the near boards and out. Logan Campbell with it at center. Right wing side of the Indy zone. Trying to put it in front. Emmett Zakos on the far boards. Sends it down deep. Puck behind the net. Passed out to the right point. Up, hopped over the stick of Annie Cravens and out. She'll catch up to it. Oh, but Lucas Brown takes it away from her inside the Nolensville zone. Brown tried to send it to the front of the net, hit the skates of Logan Campbell, and went back out. Sent back in by Tate Butcher, but Bryson Patton has to get back on side. Here's Annie Cravens. Now the puck taken away. Bryson Patton in on goal. A shot stopped by Soundara. Owens will try to clear it out, held in by Butcher. The puck slides below the goal line. Patton puts it out in front, held in, and a shot from Butcher in front of the blue line, gloved and held on to by Soundara. 8:11 to go in the game, still 2-2. Draw to the right of Soundara. Nolensville with it. Henry Cravens behind his own net. Pushed off the puck by Caleb Mills. Oliver Weedman tried to sweep in, but Cravens knocked the puck off his stick. Now it's out at center. Carson Roganchik back into the Indy zone. Left the puck behind him as he crossed the blue line. Cleared out by the Eagles. Here is Thomas Renegar. Sending it back into the Nolensville zone. I think it was slightly deflected by Spencer Kern right at the Indy blue. Sent it back into the Indy zone. I think it was slightly deflected by Spencer Kern right at the blue line. Now the puck behind the Indy net. Kern with it. Kern. Backhanding it over to the left wing side. Roganchik. Gets knocked down. Kern out on that left wing side, out on the far boards. Knocked down. And the puck taken away and cleared out by Indy. Spencer Kern sweeps the puck back into the Indy zone. And somebody's net guard fell off again. Second time in the game we have a loose net guard out on the ice. Indy will bring the puck out of their zone. Caleb Mills, right wing side of the Nolensville end. A shot turned away by Soundara. Puck chipped around to the near side by Emmett Zakos. He catches up to it and clears it. Here's Jackson Malleus-Mayer, right wing side of the Indy zone. Putting it in front, Zakos! Zakos with a redirect, stopped and covered up by David Busby. Big chance for Nolensville, their first good chance in a while. And Busby makes the save. 6:21 to go in the second. 6:21 to go in the game. Still 2-2. Here's Oscar Dubon into the Nolensville zone. Top of the left circle, a shot knocked down by the glove of Soundara, and they'll cover. It's 6-4 Station Camp over Rutherford down in Bellevue. They're getting close to the end of that one. Draws to the right of Soundara. Won by Indy. Isha Romano's shot from the top of the right circle was blocked and he fell over. Aiden Gardner out near the blue line. Sends it over to the near side boards. Hank Prosser. Dropping it down to the inboards. Annie Cravens with it. Passing it ahead to Heath Hudie. Hudie left wing side of the Indy zone. Pass to the slot. And they try to get it to Annie Cravens, but she couldn't catch up to it. It's cleared out by Indy. Hudie back into the Indy zone on the left wing side. Passes across. And we're going to have a penalty against Indy. An interference call. Nolensville player was taken down behind the Indy net. And it's Easton Romano called for the penalty. So Nolensville back to the power play. Game tied at 2 with 5:11 to go. Draws to the left of David Busby, who is getting his glove and blocker back on. Now he's ready for the draw, which is won by Nolensville. Henry Cravens right point. Taking a shot, stopped by Busby, or it hit something in front. Here's Spencer Kern, right point, passing over Henry Cravens, one-timer, missed the net. Puck it in front of shot, stopped by Busby with a right leg pad. That was Heath Hudie. And then we get a whistle because the net had become dislodged. Draws to the right of Busby. Won by Nolensville. Here's Henry Cravens, left point, shot blocked. Puck goes out to center. Spencer Kern will catch up to it. That shot was blocked by Bryson Patton with his right shin. Here is Cravens. Ahead to Charlie Bonnert, back into the Indy zone. Bonnert has the puck knocked off his stick. Coming in from behind to get off a shot was Heath Hudie. I think it missed the net to the right of Busby. And Indy tried to clear it. Slowed down, stayed in the zone, and Henry Cravens got up at one timer that was blocked. Shot in the bottom of the left circle, stopped by Busby. That was Malleus-Mayer. A minute left in the power play for for Nolensville. Here's Hudy. Moving across the bottom of the left circle, passing back up to the left point. And Cravens. Back to Hudy. Hudy inside the left circle. Shot turned away by Busby. Oh! It went off Busby and then went through the crease right in front of the goal line as Indy cleared the puck out. 30 seconds left in the power play for Nolensville. Here's Cravens. Back into the Indy zone, backhanding it to the end boards. Puck whipped around the wall to the near side and out. Soundara sending the puck around to the far side. Sent back the other way by Nolensville. Here is Spencer Kern. Kern through center. Into the Indy zone on the left wing side. Penalty time against Indy is up. Kern with a shot steered away by Busby. Kern on the right wing side. Tried to spin around, take a shot. He fell over. Here's Spencer Pacholko back into the Nolensville zone on the left wing side. Oh, he whiffs trying to pass it to the slot. And Caleb Mills. Well defended by Henry Cravens. Now Charlie Bonnert out at center. Brings it into the Indy zone. It's in the left wing corner. And Bonnert left the puck behind the Indy net. Eagles with it. And they clear. Picked back up at center. And dumped back into the Indy zone by Judah Campbell. Nolensville will finish changing the line. Here is Aiden Gardner, right wing side of the Nolensville zone. Oh, puck got away from him right as he was trying to start moving towards the front of the net. Left point, Oscar Dubon passing across. And a shot from Nick Kloss as he moved into the right circle block. Kloss gets it back in front of backhander. Misses the net to the left of Soundara. Draw one by Nolan. Sorry, I keep saying draw. Why do I want to say draw? Nolensville still with a puck trying to get it out of the zone. Now here's Aiden Gardner keeping it alive. Trying to pass it up to the left point. Nobody was there. Puck back in the Indy zone. Oscar Dubon is going to track it down. And, he turns the puck over to Spencer Kern. But then Kern had it poked away on the back check by Kloss. But we're going to have a too many men penalty. Against Nolensville. They got 6 guys out there. And Charlie Bonnert will serve the penalty. So with 91 seconds left in the game, Indy-Centennial returning to the power play. Game tied at 2. Can somebody find a winner here late? And Indy are going to use their timeout. So we'll check in on the Rutherford Station Camp game. Six to 4. Station Camp Liberty Creek wins 6-4. Thank you to Christina Karpanek, mom of Jack Karpanek of Father Ryan. She has signed up for a Buy Me a Coffee membership. She signed up for the newsletter shout out, which is $50 a year or $5 a month. So again, Station Camp Liberty Creek, Nashville Christian beating the Rampage 6-4. As we're ready to resume play off the timeout. Again, Indy-Centennial with a power play. 91 seconds to go. Draws to the left of Bingston Soundara, won by Indy. Puck sent around the boards, around the kick plate from the right point. as Indy try and find somebody free to get off a shot and maybe win this game late. Bryson Patton behind the net. Had the puck taken away, and Henry Cravens couldn't clear it out. Held in by Eden Gardner. And now, Nick Kloss pushed off the puck. Charlie Bonnert with it. Right wing side of the Indy zone. Bonnert closing in, a shot. It's turned away by Busby. Right as we enter the final minute of the game. David Busby making another big save. Puck on the kick plate behind the Indy net. Spencer Kernan there against 3 Indy players. Biss the puck on the kick plate. And I think the official, they're going to blow the whistle soon. Yep, they blow it. Puck never came off the kick plate. 30.9 seconds to go in the game. 59 seconds left in the power play for Indy. Game tied at 2. Draw is going to be to the left of Busby. Won by Nolensville. Shot from Mehmet Zakos, stopped and held on to by Busby. Again, Indy are on the power play here. Draw to the left of Busby again. Won by Nolensville. Shot from Mehmet Zakos. Missed the net. Indy bring the puck out with 15 seconds to go. Nick Kloss, right wing side of the Nolensville zone. Put it in front on. Bryson Patton whiffed on it. Is there one last chance for Nolensville? Logan Kimball with the puck at center. Passing across. Jackson Malleus-Mayer to the net. Shot, score! Oh my goodness! Malleus-Mayer down the side, fires it into the back of the net. Nolensville haven't had the lead all game. They take a 3-2 lead with 3.8 seconds to go. They just won the game. Wow. Bryson Patton whiffing on that shot attempt, and Nolensville take it to the other end and get the likely winner. Stick got knocked up into the air off the draw. And they tell the scorekeeper to run down the clock, and that is it. Nolensville win it. Their first game as a scholastic team, and they win it in dramatic fashion, 3-2. Jackson Malleus-Mayer scoring the winner with 3.8 seconds to go. Wow. That was first night of the season, and it with a flourish. The Nolensville program has not lost a game since Ensworth-Nolensville-Lipscomb lost Game 1 of the Preds Cup final in 2024 to Ravenwood. What a finish. What a finish that one. That was amazing. It was a really good game. Really good goaltending performances from both sides. Shame that David Busby lost that late. It looked like it was going to maybe going to end in a tie, but nope. Nope. Hold on, I'm typing the score out. On our separate Twitter account. Shoo, that was fun. That was a fun finish. That's good. Hold on, folks. I'm going to retweet it now on the MTSN Twitter, and then we'll talk about the game. All right, so the goal scorers in this one for Nolensville. Henry Cravens, Charlie Bonnert, Jackson Malleus-Mayer with a game winner. And for Indy-Centennial, Aiden Gardner and Spencer Pachalko with the goals. Goaltending, Bingston Soundaro made 28 saves on 30 shots. David Busby made 28 on 31. So I'm going to split the Player of the Game award three ways. Bingston Soundaro gets a third, David Busby gets a third, and Jackson Malleus-Mayer gets the other third for getting the game winner. So 3 players of the game: Soundaro, Busby, Malleus-Mayer. Wow. And that is day one of the 2025-2026 GNASH regular season in the books. We're done for the night. So let's just go over the final scores from today. Father Ryan beat Brentwood BAUSN 5-2. Ravenwood beat Hendersonville Beach Lawson 8-4. Franklin beat Mount Juliet Wilson Central Lebanon 5-0. Montgomery Bell beat the Tennessee Outlaws 9-1. Station Camp Liberty Creek Nashville Christian beat Rutherford Rampage 6-4. And just now, Nolensville with a late winner, beating Independence-Centennial 3-2. So the standings with these 6 games in the books. MBA, Franklin, Ravenwood, Father Ryan, Station Camp, Liberty Creek, Nashville Christian, and Nolensville all at 1-0. And you've got Indy Centennial, the Rampage, Brentwood, Hendersonville, Mount Juliet, and the Outlaws all at 0-1. And still sitting at the starting line are the Clarksville Kings, Ensworth, Lipscomb CPA, JP2MLK, GCS, and Page Summit. And 3 of those teams will get off the starting line on Wednesday night. Just 2 games on Wednesday night. Looks like for the regular season, we're only going to have double headers on Wednesdays here on Centennial A. And on Wednesday night at 7:10, it's going to be Mount Juliet Wilson Central Lebanon taking on Ensworth Lipscomb CPA. And then at 8:40, JP2MLK GCS taking on Page Summit. We'll have both of those games for you. $7 p.m. pregame for Mount Juliet and Ensworth, and then an 8:30 pregame for JP2 and Page. Before we get off, give them an on-air shout-out to Tom and Marcia Cravens, parents of Henry and Annie Cravens. They signed up for the $10 a month, $100 a year Buy Me a Coffee membership. They get listed in the newsletter. They get this on-air Nolensville game I cover, and at some point they are listening to this game back on the downloadable MP3 that they get. for all Nolensville games I do. Buy me a coffee memberships if you're listening live. You can go to MTSNonline.com, which now redirects you to our link tree. And on the list of links with the green spacebar-like shapes, the Buy Me a Coffee memberships are the second link, right underneath the link to the Meridics page where we do our live broadcasts. If you are listening back to this on YouTube, then you can scroll down to the description and click on the Buy Me a Coffee membership link. We offer the $10 a month, $100 a year package of perks, I call it, and we also offer a $5 a month, $50 a year newsletter listing if you don't want the other two. Want to thank Jennifer Halpern, who made a one-time donation of $100 yesterday. If you don't want a membership but you want to make a one-time donation, we'll take those too. If you want the direct link, it's Buy Me a Coffee, BUYMEACOFFEE, all one word, buymeacoffee.com/SPORTSNET. So shout out again to Tom and Marcia Cravens for being a Buy a Coffee member, and I know you enjoyed that one. Your boys scored, and the late winner scored by Jackson Malleus-Mayer. All right. That is our first game broadcast of the 2025-2026 GNASH regular season in the books. Dramatic finish. Nolensville beat Independence-Centennial 3-2. I'm Michael Hackney. We'll talk to you on Wednesday night from right back here at Centennial for Mount Juliet Wilson Central, Lebanon, Innsworth, Lipscomb CPA, and then JP2MLK GCS and Page Summit. Good night, everybody, from Centennial.